Hi everyone. So today's video is going to be on multiplying negatives. Now, what we need to do first of all is we need to remember that when we talked about positives and negatives, that they are the inverse of each other. So -1 is the inverse of +1, okay? They're opposites. And remember, we talked about that when we looked at the number line. Okay, so we know that the opposite to 1 is -1. The opposite to 2 is -2. The opposite to -3 is 3. Okay, so we know that a positive is the opposite to a negative, and a negative is the opposite to a positive. All right, they're their inverses. So we need to remember that key fact when multiplying negatives. Now we're going to use our squares for this. So I've got all my squares here that I need. So for this one, we're just going to discuss how you would do each one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 times 4. Okay, so we're looking at 3 groups of 4. Okay, so 3 lots of 4. Here I go. So there's 2 lots of 4, 3 lots of 4. Okay, so 3 lots of 4, which would give me 12. I hope everybody's happy with that. Okay, we know that 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, but what we need to look at is now, to complicate it up, is throw in some negatives. Okay, right, so what I want now is 3 lots of -4. And I'm going to show you how to do this on MathSpot. Okay, so we're now going to switch, and I'll carry on talking, and I'm going to explain to you how to find 3 lots of -4, -3 lots of 4, and -3 lots of -4, and we're going to look at the opposites as we go through it. Okay, so as I've just shown you, we've got 3 lots of +4. So +3 times +4 leaves us with +12. So we're going to look at +3 times -4. So what's happening here is, because we've got -4, we have to do the inverse, which is the opposite of what we have there. So all of these positive ones are turning into negative ones. So +3 times -4 is -12. Okay, so it just flips the whole thing round. Okay, so I'm going to flip it back for us to have a look at -3 times +4. Okay, and what will happen again is we're going to flip them. Okay, so there's my 3 times 4 is 12. So to do -3 times 4, okay, I have to do the opposite. So it will flip. Okay, just flip once to give me -12 again. Okay, and now I'm going to flip them back again. And we're going to look at -3 times -4. So this time, because there are 2 negatives, okay, so we've got 3 times 4, which is 12, and then because it's -3, it flips once, and then because we've got -4, it flips back. So actually, when you do a -3 times -4, it makes +12. So as I demonstrated, you would have seen that for 3 times -4, we flipped all of these just the once, because we've only got one inverse. Okay, so it gave us -12. On this one, it was the same again. We had the all yellow, and then because we needed to -3 lots of 4, so we just flipped them all once to make -12. Okay, on the last one, we had 2 negatives, so we had to do the inverse twice. Okay, so we started on yellow, then we flipped them all and they all became red, and then we had to flip it back again, so this became 12. Okay, so that's what we need to remember when we're multiplying with negatives. If one of them is a negative, we flip it once. If there are 2 negatives, we have to do the inverse twice, so we flip them twice. Okay, so have a look at my next video on how you can use this to help you divide negatives.